All right, thank you very much for staying with us. It's now time to go straight into our interviews for the day. And our first topic will be Lagos slums and the fight against poverty. The other day we had someone here from the Makoko community, and we had the chance to hear firsthand what's going on in that community and the back and forth between the community and the government. Some effort to evacuate them from the place and some pushback, because of certain things. They feel that their lives revolves around the place. They're fishermen. They've been there all their lives. That's what they do. The children go to school there. Everything. You just can't come and just say, look, evacuate the place. What happens to their welfare and their well-being? We have someone who would help us break down what the slums are saying in terms of, the reality. He's an expert. He's an environmental activist. He knows exactly what the story is and how poverty is mixing with all of this and why government should try to strike a balance. Deji Akinpelu, an environmental activist, is here with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's a great pleasure to be here.
It's a way that for people like you who spend time, resources, researching, engaging, and advocating for people who hitherto would not have a voice. I imagine how much worry you have, particularly when those who have voted into power, who have the responsibility to actually look after these people, are the ones who are their problems. And you are there trying to advocate, trying to push, trying to educate and mobilize. What is it like with slums in Lagos? Don't forget, the government kept saying there's a bigger plan, the mega city, the 21st century Lagos, and all of that. I mean, that sounds good because they say it's going to bring some economic benefit to the people. It's going to attract tourists to the state. The state will blossom. So if you put that on one side and the concerns of the ordinary people who are in the slums, would you say that their concerns should supersede the bigger picture?
So I'll say it straightforward. The plan is actually also the problem. So when you say you have the plan to make Lagos the next Dubai, is actually the problem, because that kind of plan is not in any way inclusive. Although when you look at the Lagos development plan, you hear inclusive city and all that all over the document. But in your execution, do you see any inclusive planning? Inclusive planning here is taking into cognizance the different cadres of people that you have in the city. And interestingly, Lagos is 70-60% informality. People that you can pretty much just call artisans and all of that. So the direct question would be, in terms of housing, what housing policy do you exactly have? Is it a rent to own that you are saying that is housing for this group of people? So the plan that you are mentioning is the plan, the 1% of the 1%, luxury property development, free trade zone. You go into a community in faraway Lekki, you chase them off and you build a free trade zone, public lands just being used for luxury housing development. The strategy of housing in Lagos, what is it exactly like? When you say that plan, it is about you working with private developers to build houses. How does a private developer solve the problem of the common man? Lagos IGR is increasing every day, but when you talk about housing, what level of social housing do we exactly have? Is it that rent to own or lagoons that we are talking about? You understand? So you are financing LSDPC. Is it LSDPC? LSDPC is set up as a government business to compete in the luxury property development space. So tell me the agency that is to cater for that other group of people. Oh, LASURA, Lagos State Urban Renewal Agency. So let us bring out the report. The LASURA should come out with its report in terms of intervention. Its mandate is to develop these slum areas, to regenerate them. What has been done? What level of profiling do we have? The only data we have from LASURA is to say that we have over 200 slums in the city of Lagos. So what exactly are you doing? The processes are there. You profile, you understand the needs, and you do designs that accommodate this group of people. The problem of those who rule us is because they are thinking in their heads and say, okay, we want to build this luxurious city. try to hide the poor. There's no way. We have the poor among us. You can't hide them. You only have to be deliberate to make provisions for them. I don't have a problem with you developing Eco Atlantic, but what are you cross-funding from the development of Eco Atlantic to make Makoko livable for the people who are there? There's nothing wrong in having a fishing community. Come on, there are cities in the world that are surrounded by water. So a balanced city is the city that has a place for everybody, because everybody has a function and a role to
society.
Exactly. I'm driving down here, there's a woman sweeping the street. Where did she come from? Down to VI here, all the way from Oronshoki, that you chased her out from her apartment. But she has the duty to come and perform here on the island to clean your street. Everybody in the city has a function. If you keep pushing and pushing and pushing the poor in terms of your development plan, we were just talking before, 35 years ago, people of Morocco were chased away. And the people maneuvered themselves and found themselves in Ilaso and Ikota. And nobody said anything. Now, today, the same government is saying you have to move away. That was the dead end of Lagos that they were pushed to. Back then. Development has come now. You are pushing them away. Our plan does not in any way outline how they want to integrate this group of people. You have to have a plan, a very specific plan. Everything that we say in MREF, the mortgage fund that has come out for housing, sat down with funds managers, and like, where is social housing in all of this? It is just about private developers who went to Mosul government and say, okay, let us give us some funds, we will contribute some funds so that we can continue developing for people like us. I attended a housing summit in Abuja. The house that you're talking about is to build houses for people like you. But from the demand side of housing in Nigeria that you speak about, is not about people who are going to cough out millions. Makoko slums in the city of Lagos should have a type of housing design and technology that you are going to adopt that allows that you build, that allows for their profession. It is about livelihood, not just housing.
All right. Fantastic opener, I must say, Deji. Fantastic opener. Yes, like you did mention during the lights out, we're discussing the new concern around the chiefs. So we'll call it the royal
traditional
institutions, and how they have encouraged government in order to, because I mean the young man we brought in here, Caleb, did talk about the fact that government had paid the ballet of Makoko, and so the ballet is with government and against them.
No, not just the ballet, the leaders of the community. So that it doesn't look as if he has
Let's call it the way it is. Traditional institutions are being compromised in the city of Lagos, working in collaboration with state government agencies against their own people. And we are going to say it, and let us say it the way it is. It's a divide and rule tactics. This community exists. You go in there. If you are able to promise the traditional rulers that when we build here, we will give you this part, we'll give you this part, and the leaders begin to betray their own people. The traditional institutions that are supposed to stand and to protect heritage, culture. You come to a city like Lagos, people begin to wonder and say, oh, where's the culture of Lagos? It is eroding, it is dying. Because some people are selling it out. Because some people are beginning to compromise, and the people who are even saying that they are planning the city of Lagos are not even heritage conscious. Oronshoki, a lot of some Morocco, these are heritage sites. These are heritage places that they have deep cultural stories that Lagos should protect as a city and sell to the world. But what you think about is, oh, property is the best form of development. That is the mindset that is killing us. And you think that all that makes up a city is luxury housing, high rise. You're not thinking of your culture to preserve. You are building Yoruba Cultural Center. I don't have a problem with that. But your culture in communities that it is being practiced, you are demolishing and pushing them out. Culture does not live in museums. It lives in real places. It lives in real places where you have the people who practice the culture down there. It is interesting. Go to Makoko, for instance. Do you know that there are so many bilingual schools in Makoko?
Wow.
Yeah. Makoko children learn in English and in French. The dynamics is interesting. You are living in the urban space. We are talking about rental, monthly payment. These are things that are already practices in these kinds of places. Going into those places, I don't see suffering. I see systems that you should learn from. Things that you are battling with that is not working in your own urban centers works over there. Traditional medicine, you have poor knowledge of it in urban spaces, but they practice it over there. They do a whole lot of things. For about a whole year, I was engaging with young people who live in Makoko and to try and understand how they picture the city of Lagos, for instance. There is life there. Poverty that we say there, that they are poor, is not in the function of how much they earn. It is in the function of the lack of social services. There is no healthcare. There is no education. Poor attention from government. That is what we call the poverty. The poverty, they are making their livelihood there. And as much as possible, hey, they eat their 3 square meal. So your intervention is to understand what is going on in that space. And support it. And support it and make it work. What those places have lived on is just the goodwill of private individuals, institutions, who will go there and do donations and do all of that. And we've almost turned it into what we call poverty porn. So foreigners have to come and all of that. But you as a government, what is your slum intervention plan exactly? LASURA as an agency of Lagos State government has become a toothless bulldog. Let us have a plan. Let it come out. How much is the budgetary allocation to LASURA? What housing intervention projects have been done by LASURA successfully? Understanding community needs. The peculiarities. All slums are not the same. They have different levels of depravity and they all have their uniqueness. The culture of Lagos, if you say you want to prove like it, the heritage of Lagos lies in these places. Then you go into arguments, oh, they are not Nigerians, they are this. Do you know the history? You that you say, oh, you're a Lagosian, you say, oh, you came from somewhere. These are fishermen from the coastal, these are people who have migrated from the coastal region of West Africa mixed with Nigerians, Badagry people who have moved. And this is story. This is the same kind of story I went to Brazil how many months ago and I'm listening to.
Paid to listen to.
And these same people take this same story of ours and they put in museums over there and they are selling to the world. And your only thinking is that real estate, this craze about turning Lagos into the real estate market as if all that matters and drives an economy is real estate is a lie that we are telling ourselves.
All right. As always, it's always very, very insightful listening to you. Very deep analysis, very deep understanding of what the matters are. But time is out already. Deji Akinpelu is an environmental activist. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so we'll take a break and we'll come back.